Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings and Yahoo for Wednesday, May the 19th. We got another two-game slate for Wednesday. We got the two play-in games for the Western Conference today. Obviously, we had the two play-in games for the Eastern Conference on Tuesday. We got the Western Conference games today on Wednesday. We got the Spurs and the Grizzlies, and then the Warriors and the Lakers. There should be two pretty fun games to watch. As always, guys, we're going to go game by game. Just talk about these two games, talk about each team. What does stand out to me looking at this slate the night before? Don't really expect much to change. When we get to the playoffs, we kind of know who's going to play. We know the starters, what kind of minutes they're going to be getting. It was crazy to see that, we actually did get news on Tuesday with Karis LeVert getting ruled out. That was very unexpected, but I would expect that most of the stuff that I say in this video is going to remain true, when lock comes, just because not much is going to change. It's the playoffs. We know guys are going to play. We don't have to worry about players getting late scratched or any of this other stuff. So, guys, we're going to run through these two games quickly. Just before we do get started with that, as always, would appreciate it if you would click that like button down below. If you are new to the channel here, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well, and also hit the notification bell so that way you do get notified every time I upload. You also do get notified every time I live stream. I should be live for today's slate, not 100% sure yet, but if I do go live, I'll be live a little bit later than normal. Lock is 30 minutes later than normal. Lock's at 7:30 Eastern tonight, so if I'm able to go live, I'll be live around 5:30 Eastern time, somewhere around then, for tonight's slate. So be sure to tune into the channel then, see if I'm live. I may or may not be. It's to be determined, but anyways, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the first game of the night. We'll talk about the Spurs and the Grizzlies. So looking at San Antonio today, their prices on DraftKings are crazy to me. Really, all the Spurs on DK are just too cheap. DeRozan 7K, Dejounte Murray 6,300, Jakob Poeltl 4,900. Like, I don't know why all these guys are as cheap as they are, but we definitely are gonna want to have some exposure to the Spurs on DraftKings. So starting off with DeRozan at 7K. Yeah, like I said, I just think he's too cheap here. This is obviously a playoff game, a must-win game. I expect big minutes for DeMar DeRozan. I'd assume he'd play probably around 36 to 38 minutes. His minutes have kind of been all over the place, during the regular season. Some of that was due to blowout. Some of that was due to, them just electing to take it easy on DeRozan. Some of these late season games, he didn't really play much. But now that the playoffs are here, I expect we get normal 36, if not, close to 40 minutes from DeRozan. At 7K, I mean, he's definitely underpriced on DraftKings. Like, he should be 8K today. I don't know why DeRozan's as cheap as he is. I do like him a lot on DraftKings. I like Dejounte Murray as well. Basically, same thing for DeRozan goes for Murray. He should get probably 32 to 34 minutes. He might not play as much as DeRozan, but he'll still play enough to where he is easily going to be able to pay off a $6,300 salary. Again, I don't know why Murray is this cheap. Murray's a super productive player when he's on the floor. He's a guy that can average 1.2, 1.25 fantasy points per minute. He's someone that can do a little bit of everything, can score, can rebound, can get assists. 6,300, definitely too cheap for DeMar DeRozan. I think he's probably my favorite Spur, either him or Jakob Poeltl. Obviously, I like DeRozan as well, though. But Murray at 6,300, I am definitely looking to on DraftKings. I think you could play him on Yahoo as well, but really a lot of these Spurs guys, they look really appealing on DraftKings. On Yahoo, they're correctly priced there. Like, Murray's $28, DeRozan is $33, Jakob Poeltl's $22, so they're priced appropriately on Yahoo, but on DraftKings, love DeRozan, love Dejounte Murray, love Jakob Poeltl as well. 4,900 for Jakob Poeltl is just way too cheap. I mean, this guy's probably going to play 32, 33 minutes if this is a close game. During the regular season, he was consistently getting around 28 to 30 minutes a night. Should play a few more here. They're going to need his size to match up with Valanciunas. As long as Poeltl can stay out of foul trouble, I think we get 30-plus minutes from him. He's a fantasy point per minute player. 4,900 is just way too cheap for Jakob Poeltl. I like him a lot as well. He's definitely my second favorite Spur. It's close between him and Murray. I like both guys a lot today. And then, like, Keldon Johnson for 4,400. I'm not as interested in. Like, Keldon Johnson's just been so inconsistent this season. He's a tough guy to roster. Like, you just don't really know what you're going to get from him. But he is cheap. It's hard to really find value on these short slates. There really wasn't much value on Tuesday. There really isn't going to be value today. So if you want to go to Keldon Johnson, I think it's fine. Lonnie Walker, while Derek White remains out, is viable. He's probably going to play around 25, 28 minutes. 4,300, he does feel priced appropriately. Like, I think DeRozan's too cheap. I think Murray and Poeltl are too cheap. I feel like everyone else, though, in San Antonio is priced appropriately. Those are the guys, though, that really stand out, the top three from this team. Everyone else are just secondary options, like Johnson, Lonnie Walker. Rudy Gay is okay at 4K, but really I think the top three guys we mentioned are where I'm really looking to get my exposure to on San Antonio. Now on the Memphis side, Memphis is a team I also have some interest in. I think there are some guys that are also a little bit underpriced on the Memphis side. So John Morant, you have at 8,300. You know, John Morant, he's been someone that I've rostered at times this season, and anytime I play John Morant, it just never works. Like, whenever I play this guy, he just always sucks, and then it seems like whenever he has his big games, like, I never play him when he has his big games. For 8,300, I don't think I'm going to play Morant today. Like, I would just rather get to Dejounte Murray. I mean, Dejounte Murray could easily outscore Morant, and he's $2,000 cheaper, so I don't think I'm going to pay 8,300 for John Morant, but I definitely like J-Val on the other side. J-Val 7,600. He's one of these Memphis guys that I think is too cheap right now. He's been getting the minutes. He's played at least 32 minutes in 4 of his last 5 games. He's been productive as well, as you would expect. J-Val, just a super productive player when he's on the floor. 46, 56, 48, 47, 53 DK points. Like, this is a guy that can go out there and get you 20 and 20. I mean, he's got that kind of upside. He can score. He can grab rebounds. He can block shots. I definitely like J-Val here. I think it's 7,600. He's way too cheap. He should be like 8,500, almost 9K with how well he's playing right now and with how many minutes he's getting. The minutes have always been the big thing for Valanciunas. It's never that he's not going to be productive. Like, he's going to be productive when he's out there. It's just a matter of how many minutes will he play. And towards the end of the regular season there, Memphis was giving him, or the Grizzlies, they were giving him 30-plus minutes a night. I think that continues here in the postseason. So I do like J-Val a lot. I like him a lot on Yahoo as well. He's for sure my favorite center on Yahoo, especially because Pirtle is appropriately priced there. I think J-Val at $33 is definitely the guy I'm going to be playing at center on Yahoo. But outside of Morant, outside of J-Val, I do have some interest in Jaren Jackson Jr. as well, 5,900. He got up to 31 minutes against Golden State last game, which was good to see. He was kind of, I don't want to say he was being limited, but they were kind of keeping him around like 26, 28 minutes. Basically, since he had made his season debut back in, in late April, they were playing him around 25, 26 minutes a night, but he did play 31 minutes last game against Golden State, had 35 DK points. Jaren Jackson Jr., another guy that's going to be productive when he's on the floor, just can do a little bit of everything, can score, can rebound, can get a couple assists. He gets those defensive stats, which are always nice. I like Triple J at 5,900, and I think on Yahoo, that's where Triple J looks really good. You have to play at least one power forward on Yahoo. You look at the options. You have AD, you have Draymond, you have Jaren Jackson Jr. I like all three of those guys, but then once you get past Triple J, like Juan Toscano-Anderson, I'm not that interested in. Keldon Johnson, we already mentioned, I don't have a ton of interest in. Brandon Clark, I'm not going to be going to, so I think Triple J at $20 on Yahoo looks like a really good option as well, him and J-Val. So really, J-Val and Triple J are my two favorite plays from Memphis. Dylan Brooks at 5,800 I think is okay. I do like Dylan Brooks though a lot more on Yahoo. Just again, the position. You have to really factor in positions, because especially on a site like Yahoo where you don't have the dual position eligibility, like you have to play at least one shooting guard. And if you look at the options, I mean, your options are basically Andrew Wiggins, Dylan Brooks, Grayson Allen may or may not play, and then KCP. Like, you're not playing, I mean, I guess you could play Lonnie Walker for minimum salary, but you're probably only going to go to one of those 4 guys. I think at $19, Dylan Brooks definitely looks like probably my favorite shooting guard option on Yahoo. He's been getting the minutes lately. We know he's going to get the minutes. He should play 32 to 34 minutes here. The production's always inconsistent with a guy like Dylan Brooks. He is pretty scoring dependent, but the minutes are going to be there. You have to roster at least one shooting guard on Yahoo. I think at $19, Dylan Brooks is probably the guy I had the most interest in at the shooting guard position. So I do like him on Yahoo. Not as much interest on DK, where you do have the dual position eligibility. He's not as necessary. But then a guy like Kyle Anderson, I think another guy that looks a little bit too cheap in this game. 5,300 on DraftKings. The minutes for Anderson not going to be as high as some of the other guys we've mentioned, but he still will probably play 30 to 32 minutes here. Kyle Anderson's also a fantasy point per minute player, is a guy that can be productive when he's on the floor, and he's another one of these guys that can just do a little bit of everything, can score, can rebound, can get assists, can get defensive stats. I think if we get 30 to 32 minutes from Kyle Anderson, he's way too cheap at 5,300. He can easily give you 6x value on this salary, so him, I would say Triple J, J-Val, and Kyle Anderson are my favorite Memphis plays on DK, and on Yahoo it's probably Triple J, Dylan Brooks, and J-Val. You could also play Kyle Anderson on Yahoo, but I think he looks more appealing on DK at 5,300. But that probably does it for Memphis. Like if Grayson Allen plays, I'm not going to go to Desmond Bane or DeAnthony Melton. I don't think I'm really going to go to any of the bench guys from Memphis. I think my main interests are going to be the starters here, the guys that we just talked about. So that does it for the first game. Now looking at the next game, the Warriors and the Lakers. On the Warriors side today, In my opinion, this is a pretty easy team to go over. For me, really, like even on a 2-game slate, I think it's just Curry and Draymond for me. Like that's kind of the way it's been all during the regular season. Like I really just haven't played Kent Bazemore much this year. I haven't played Andrew Wiggins really at all. Juan Toscano-Anderson, I think at 5,100 feels a little bit too expensive. Same with Jordan Poole. Kevon Looney just has zero upside. I don't see any reason to play Kevon Looney when you can get Jakob Poeltl, who has way more upside, and it's just a guy I feel way better about for $1,000 more. So for me, it's Curry and Draymond from Golden State. Curry at 10,100. I mean, hard not to consider him the top stud on the slate. You have to look at him, compare him to LeBron, comparing him to Anthony Davis. With how well Curry's been playing, though, he's the guy that I think I do prefer. 10,100 on DraftKings. I do like him a bit more on DK, whether you get the 3-point bonus on DK. The peripherals are always kind of lacking for Curry, but he can get you 30, 40 real life points basically any night. At 10,100, he's the guy that I do want to go to at the top today on DraftKings. Now, we will talk about LeBron on Yahoo. I think on Yahoo, I prefer LeBron and AD just because they are cheaper. Curry's $50, whereas LeBron's $43, AD's $44. LeBron and AD are also playing weaker positions. Like at point guard, you have John Morant, you have Dejounte Murray. You could go to like small forward, especially on Yahoo, is not the best. Like I don't want to play, Kyle Kuzma or Kent Bazemore or THT. So it's pretty much just LeBron, DeRozan, or Kyle Anderson. I think LeBron looks like the guy that I'd rather go to on Yahoo over someone like Curry. But on DraftKings, 10,100, Curry is for sure my favorite spend up. Going to get a ton of minutes, should play around 40 minutes if this game stays close. We know Curry's going to dominate the usage on this team, going to take a ton of shots. If he gets hot, I mean, we've seen Curry just put up massive games. He looked amazing in that Memphis game, went for 46 real-life points, had 73 DraftKings points, took 36 shots. I mean, how can you argue? Like, you can't argue against Curry here. He's clearly a top option on a 2-game slate. He's the guy I like the most on DraftKings. But then you do have Draymond at 7,400, and I think Draymond looks like a really good play as well. He's going to play probably 36 to 38 minutes, close to 40 minutes if I had to guess. We know Draymond has triple-double upside. We've seen him go for 40 DK points in 4 straight games. He's a guy that just does everything, scores, rebounds, gets assists, gets defensive stats. I think straight up, I'd probably rather play Curry if I can find the salary, but I think Draymond is a really good play at 7,400 as well. And I definitely like Draymond on Yahoo. I think at $31, if you want to go to Draymond, I think he looks like a really good play, and he is definitely, I would say, behind Triple J. Draymond's my second favorite power forward on Yahoo. I do like him a lot at that $31 salary. One thing to note on Yahoo, the peripherals, they matter a little bit more on Yahoo. Also, the defensive stats are pretty important there. Defensive stats are worth 3 points, whereas on DraftKings are worth 2. So you can see Draymond put up massive games on Yahoo because he can get you 3 steals, 3 blocks, and that's 18 points alone right there. He's got upside for sure. He can go for 45 to 50 fantasy points. Although you don't get the double-double or triple-double bonus on Yahoo, I think steals and blocks being worth 3 points, kind of makes up for that. So definitely like Draymond on Yahoo at $31. Really just like him on both sides. Him and Curry are my 2 favorite plays from Golden State. I don't think I'm playing any other Warriors, though, today. On a 2-game slate, you could play Andrew Wiggins, you could play Kent Bazemore, you could go to one of the bench guys, Poole or Toscano-Anderson, but my main interest from the Warriors are Curry and Green, and that's probably it. So, other side of this game, talk about the Lakers real quick before we do end the video. So this Lakers team, I think, it's pretty easy to break down. It's really just AD and LeBron. Andre Drummond, I don't mind at 6,400. Like, his minutes have kind of been all over the place. He only played 21 last game against the Pelicans. We saw him get 22 against Houston, but then he did play 29 against the Pacers. He played 36 against the Knicks. Like, Drummond does feel like one of those guys that could break the slate. Like, he could go for 45, 50 DK points if he does get the minutes. It's hard to trust, Drummond right now. We just have no idea how many minutes they're going to play him. They still have Marc Gasol. They still have Montrezl Harrell that they can give minutes to behind Drummond. Drummond's risky, but, outside of LeBron and AD, I think he is viable. Now, Dennis Schroeder at 6,100, with LeBron back, I just don't have as much interest in Schroeder at this price point. He was a guy that I did play a lot, while LeBron and AD were out. But with those 2 guys healthy now, those guys are just going to dominate the usage on this team. And we've seen Schroeder, back-to-back games since coming back from COVID protocols. He's just kind of had, mediocre games. 20 DK points in 27 minutes, 26 DK points in 29 minutes. Just doesn't feel like a guy I have to play at 6,100. For me, it's really just AD and LeBron here. Now on DraftKings, I think I'd rather play Curry over AD and LeBron. But on Yahoo, we mentioned it. LeBron's small forward, which is not the best position. I really only like 3 guys here, and that's the top 3 guys: LeBron, DeRozan, and Anderson. So I think definitely paying up for LeBron on Yahoo, where he's small forward, makes a lot of sense. $43. If I can fit him in, I definitely want to try and fit LeBron at the small forward position. We know what we're getting from LeBron at this point. It's the postseason. This is when I expect him to really crank things up. His minutes were not very high. Since he had come back from his ankle injury, he was kind of limited. He only played 28 minutes against the Pacers, only 27 against the Pelicans. I expect LeBron to be full go here. If this game's close, if it's down to the wire, LeBron's going to play 36, 38 minutes. This is a game they want to win. Obviously, they don't want to have to, play the loser of, or the winner of the 8-9 game or the 9-10 game. So they want to win this game, get the 7 seed, get a little bit of rest. I expect LeBron to play his full massive minutes, close to 40 minutes if this is a close game. And at $43 on Yahoo, given the savings and given the position, I think I do prefer him over Steph Curry. But on DraftKings, give me Curry over LeBron, give me Curry over AD. I think if I had to choose between one of LeBron or AD, I think I would rather roster LeBron, just given, he's small forward eligible on DraftKings as well. Power forward, we've already touched on some guys I like at power forward. I like Triple J. I like Kyle Anderson. You can play there. I don't think AD is as viable, but obviously we know AD has upside, can put up a massive game any night. He's probably my least favorite of the 3 studs. Between him, LeBron, Curry, I think I do have Curry and LeBron ahead of Davis, but we know AD can go out there and put up a massive game any night. I have no problems with him. It's just, you can't play everyone, so I think I do give the edge to Steph, and I do give the edge to LeBron over AD today. But that probably does it for the Lakers. I'm not playing any of these secondary Lakers guys. I guess, KCP could be viable. He's 4K. He's probably going to play like 28 to 30 minutes. They're going to need his defense to guard Steph. If you want to go to KCP, he's okay, but just KCP is never a guy I feel like I have to roster. He's just such a low upside guy, just a low usage player. Doesn't really give you, a ton of upside. So for me, it's LeBron. AD is in play as well. Drummond, if you want to take the risk there, you can. But I think LeBron's the guy I really like from this Lakers team. And that does it for both games today, guys. Pretty quick breakdown. Obviously, with just 2 games, there isn't a ton to talk about. But I did try and break everything down and talk about really everyone on the slate that I think is viable. I didn't mention a lot of these bench guys, but I just don't think I'm playing, some of these bench guys. Like, sure, one of these guys off the bench could have a good game. Just good luck guessing who that's going to be, We'll see what the winning lineup is Tuesday night. There's going to be somebody off the bench that has a big game. Like right now, Ish Smith is having a good game off the bench for the Wizards Tuesday. Like there's going to be that guy off the bench that has a good game that, kind of wins you the slate. But it's just so tough to really guess who that's going to be. So, if you want to take a shot on like a Marc Gasol and hope that Drummond gets in foul trouble, or maybe play Montrezl Harrell and hope Drummond gets in foul trouble, you could do that. But, that's... You're basically just throwing darts at that point. I just wanted to really talk about the guys that I'm confident in, the guys that I think I actually am going to be putting into my lineups myself. So that does it for both games. Appreciate you watching the video as always, guys. I do enjoy you tuning in. If you did enjoy, hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button as well, and also be sure to click the notification bell so that way you do get notified every time I upload, and you also do get notified every time I live stream. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not 100% sure yet if I'm going to be streaming Wednesday, but if I do go live, I'll be live a little bit later than normal, probably somewhere around 5 to 5:30 Eastern time. If you do want to check my channel then, see if I'm live, I may or may not be. But if I am, we'll talk through the slate in the live stream as always. We'll break everything down once again, and I can always answer your questions in the live stream. But that really does it for the 2 games today, guys. I appreciate you watching. Hope you did enjoy. Best of luck, and we will see you in the next one.